get a bit wary when I get invited to poetry functions, and they say, "Tom, will you bring your guitar?" And in fact, Noel Stallard, who you're being blessed with having next month, I was at a function and I was just about to get up and said, "Tom, do a song." I said, "No, it's a poetry festival." He said, "Yeah, I know." He said, "But sing a song." I said, "It's the John O'Brien Festival." So I don't know whether it was to do with my poems or my songs, but this is the first one. I don't know if you read the blog. I was actually born in Ireland, and I find it I get back home quite regularly, and they can't accept the fact that you can live most of your life in Australia but be born in Ireland and lose your Irish accent. So when I go back, I just pick the accent back up again. And so for any Irish people, a lot of Irish people, myself included, get very offended when people who aren't Irish start doing Irish accents. Well, I was born with it, so Pog Mahone, okay. And if any Irish people can know what that means.
And the Scots.
And the Scots, well, we speak the same language. You speak the people version of that. Shorty went to Ireland to trace his family tree, a land where song and laughter and poetry flowed free. He joined in all the sing-alongs, the words weren't hard to learn, till a barman shouted him a pint and said, "Now it's your turn." Shorty said, "You are so friendly, you've made me feel at home. Do you mind if I do some verses from Banjo's famous poem?" There was movement at the station. He made a flawless start. He recited it word perfect, because he knew it off by heart. When he finished, there was silence, because he held the crowd in awe. Then they all rode up and cheered him and loudly called for more. He did every yarn he ever knew, and his new mates lapped it up. Even one about an Irish horse that won the Melbourne Cup. Actually, there were two. Then he told his porky, and the facts got in the way, and he knew that he'd regret it to his dying day. I've been a stockman most of my life, and if you watched me ride, you'd see that the man from Snowy River was not as good as me. Well, that one really won them over. It was too good to be true, till a man in a toy jacket said, "I have a job for you. There's a race this Easter Monday, way out at Fairy House. I think that we can win it if you just use your nous. My jockey has a broken leg, resulted from a fall. Our plans to win the Grand National have really hit the wall. He won't be back for near a month, for he is far too ill. If you're half as good as what you say, I think you'll fit the bill." Shorty knew right then his goose was cooked. He was stewing in a sauce, because the only thing he'd ever ridden was his childhood rocking horse. But for his nation's honour, he had to ride that race. If he fell at the first hurdle, that consequence he'd face. He was at the trackside early to see the jockeys all work out. Then he asked the trainer a question, which should have caused some doubt. "I'll give this race my best shot and really make it count. But your saddles look so different. You better help me mount." The man told him not to worry, you can't do too much wrong. Pog Mahone is your mount today, so for heaven's sake hang on. The only thing you have to do, as its jump draws near, is to lean a little forward and shout up and over in its ear. Shorty looked bewildered. "Is this some Irish joke?" "Just do what I have told you, like a good young Aussie bloke. We Irish tell a ton of stories like the ones that you have told. Sure, you're just the same as us, so welcome to the fold." They were ready in the mounting yards, and as Shorty looked about, Pog Mahone must have been special, 'cause the starter led him out. He heard the people cheering and the clapping of their hands. It seemed that half of Ireland was watching from the stands. The race was on, the horses jumped, they set off down the track. Shorty hung on like a koala as he bounced on old Pog's back. The first hurdle was upon them, but they'd been left for dead. And when the horse was supposed to jump, it charged through the fence instead. The same thing happened at the next, and the three right after that. This poor horse can't jump at all, it must be too damn fat. They were now a laughing stock, a sad sight to behold. Then Shorty recalled the trainer's words and what he had been told. Before he left the gates, he remembered what was said, what to yell into the horse's ear when he gave old Pog its head. So he raced his steed after the field like some psychotic drover, and as he reached the next fence he screamed, now you all can come in on this one, up and over, up and over. Pog rose up like a Pegasus and sailed into the air. As Shorty yelled, he cleared each jump and did it with great flair. He could see that they were gaining. The leaders were in sight. Now the crowd roared, up and over, with all their very might. They hit the lead, the race was theirs. They'd shown the field away. Clancy would have been proud of them if he'd been alive today. Now he'd have a fortune and live like a pig in clover. But the only thing that he could think to say was, up and over, up and over. The weight was right, the trophy is. They were both old Island's toast. But the trainer stood there shaken, as if visited by a ghost. You caught that one a bit too close. I had the bank on you. Your mind must have been somewhere else when I told you what to do. Your horse is deaf, was the reply, when I spoke into its ear. He ignored me till I had to yell to make the poor thing hear. That's bulldust, was the stern retort. If you'd have checked his form, you'd find old Pog's got perfect hearing, but the bloody thing is blind.